Hello, everyone, and welcome to Whale Project Showcase. Today, we're speaking with PageDAO and Wip Publishing, Work in Progress, two organizations working collectively to revolutionize the literary economy by leveraging blockchain tech and community. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Super stoked to be here with you. Thanks so much for inviting us.
Very excited. Hey, just to level set everyone, we'd love to just go around the room and just get some brief introductions on who you are and what you do for the organizations.
I guess I'll start it off easy in crypto. Been in whale for a while, maiden voyage, OG. Always love when I get to come over and hang and watch a show, and especially fun to come over and get to be on a show. So again, thanks a lot, Nightmare, for bringing us over. I help host a lot of events in Discords and sometimes crypto voxels and Twitter Spaces and stuff for PageDAO. Actually, we'll get into some of the origins. Me and Epic Dylan had a podcast back in the old Cent days, well over a year ago now, where we were talking about, books and philosophy and NFTs, and it sprouted kind of this idea of like the Library of Alexandria on the blockchain, all the books, and you can't burn them. No, you could burn an NFT, but you know what I mean. So that sprouted, all this thought and conversation. In fact, it was like a 3-hour podcast, I think. But we wound up, kind of like, catching up a little bit afterwards. And then there was a couple months, and then he hit me up and he's like, dude, we're doing it. Wip Publishing. Actually, back then it was LibraNet. Oh my God, we've come a long way. So with that, maybe I'll kick it over to Dylan.
Thanks, Easy. Yeah, he told you the truth, folks. It started off as a podcast. I think September of what year even was that? Like 2020, I guess. I did the first white paper, right? And that was kind of when, it really kind of started getting going, but it didn't really get like traction until the LibraNet days. And then LibraNet was a lot of fun. We did like a lot of experiments, and the community grew quite a bit. And then we decided that we needed to start a corporation so that we could get like a bank account and some kind of basic things like that for running like creative businesses like publishing on the blockchain, right? And so we created Wip Publishing in April of 2021, I guess. And that was about the time that Phil joined the project. So Phil is a growth hacker, really talented individual. Has done just a lot of crazy, awesome stuff over the years. And basically we invited him in. Wip Publishing kind of started off, and then actually, it got to be about July of last year of 2021. And we said, we actually need a DAO. We need like, maybe not the LibraNet DAO, but maybe a new DAO. And so we created the PageDAO. And the PageDAO does not exist to build the LibraNet blockchain. The PageDAO exists to make it easy for authors to, basically come to blockchain, experiment with blockchain publishing, with NFT monetization, with royalties, and just with all the crazy cool stuff that's happening in this technology space that writers have more or less been somewhat left out of in the past because, it's just different. You're tokenizing text versus tokenizing art, or tokenizing a photograph or a video. So the engagement method is different. And the man that I really want to kick it off to now is another co-founder of ours who has been with us since, I believe, right before the LibraNet days. But I'll let him tell you himself. This is Mr. Robert Pollock, and he is our main dev. So all the great looking ebooks or NFT books that you see on OpenSea, like this is Robbie's work. So here you go, Robbie.
Hey y'all, Dylan, thanks for the introduction. I always feel like I want to know who you are, Dylan. I know about Wip Publishing and PageDAO. People want to know who you are. You're a philosopher and all that. We spend a lot of time in PageDAO talking about each other's work, and that includes who we are as authors and people. And so, like, you really get to know people really well. But like many of these people here, I found my way to crypto on Cent. It was like, I was like, oh, you get paid to write. That's really cool. And you could support other people. That's really cool. And I saw Easy's posts, and I saw stuff about the whale server. I was like, what is this whale crap? Ironically, I got to drop that the first ever token I bought on Ethereum was Whale, and I had no idea what I was buying, had no idea what I was doing. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm now a smart contract dev. I don't know how that happens. Whatever.
Wow.
But it was really, the idea was absolutely captivating. In my day job, I work with writers and artists, and here in the other crazy projects that we have, I get to help people put their books on chain. It's kind of like the coolest thing ever. Thanks largely to the work and product mind of Phil, who kind of is the glue. If we're like Voltron or something, Phil would be the rubber band thing that goes in between the joints that like makes the limbs articulate. So I'd love to just shoot it over to Phil too.
That's a great intro. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, so hi, I'm Phil of Austin. I also live in the same city as Dylan. I've known him since 2016 or so. We have a think tank here in Austin that we were a part of, and we would just sit around every Thursday night and drink beer and talk about crazy ideas. This was before he even started any of this or got into crypto. But last year, April, May, he pulled me into it. Like, we need a website. We need all these things. It's like, I'm interested. This sounds cool. I don't know much about NFTs, but I've learned. We're getting there. But my background is mainly in product. I've been building websites, doing marketing for my whole career. So this is an interesting place to be in. I mean, this is the future, right? Making NFTs for books. Yeah. Everyone I try and explain this to, they have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, which is probably a good sign.
And just one other thing to kind of interject, when we say NFT books, that does not just mean text and an image on the cover, right? So we have audio books that we're going to be rolling out. There's a lot you can do with an NFT that you can't necessarily do with an ebook. You can't send an ebook to your friend or resell it or put it into a pool or stake it or any of these things. You can't generally just like get a IRL, Regiverse printed version either. So like doing all these things, being able to have, imagery and video and audio and all these things worked in, and the collaborative aspect, even to go as far as do community writing, which we'll talk about in a minute, probably with Pass the Pen and what we create there. It's just a whole nother world. So, I just wanted to kind of throw that snippet in there because we'll refer to NFT books and literature on the blockchain, but it's much wider than the original kind of literary marketplace.
Exactly. Yeah. One of the main goals of Wip Publishing and PageDAO has been to create the Web3 standard for books, which still has yet to be made. We have done a lot of R&D over the last year, which brought us to this point where it's kind of more of a effort, You're going to mint your books. We finally opened up this technology. If you want to mint your book, you have the ability to, as long as you have a member card right now. It's in beta phase. But yeah, I'm really excited for our next chapter, which will be what we're going to be calling the NFT Book Factory, where you can mint your own collection and you can retain the royalties and do all the awesome things that you would kind of expect with blockchain technology, right? Like generative covers. Hell yeah, let's do that. But it's just really exciting to be like kind of at this point where we put out two really big products that I've been kind of leading a team, working with Robbie and very talented people on our dev team to put this technology out. We're finally getting to a place where, yes, we know exactly where we're going. We're writing it all down. We're about to do, I don't know how much alpha we want to throw in, but I'm working on a mirror fundraise with some NFTs to gain access to this next chapter so that other authors and publishers can come in and actually start making their NFT book collections on the NFT Book Bazaar. So really excited about all that, but I don't want to steal the show. That's all I have to say.
Well, we got to shout out Greg Fishbone before we say anything else, right? Because he is a PageDAO publisher and he is here with us watching the show. What's up, Greg? Great to have you tonight, man.
I saw that you said next chapter, and I appreciated that, Phil. So thank you for throwing that in there.
Hey, we try to have as many puns as possible, especially now that we have the page token.
Appropriate.
We can all be on the same page, y'all.
Yeah. So let me rewind a little bit and kind of walk through, how this collective formed in the first place. You made mention of, having different ideas and I think I read it was a shower idea, right? To come together and really put it to fruition. But you guys approached different accelerators. You started the WIP. I love the Alexandria, analogy, right? Like if it was on the blockchain, then all of that knowledge would not have been lost, right? It would not have been burned. And so all this is ruminating in your head. What makes you say that, hey, the publishing world needs to be disrupted? There's some things that are problematic that we want to address specifically with what we can, with both the decentralized ethos of blockchain and what the technology provides. We'll love to hear a little more context from you guys on that and really, what you try to enable, because not only do you take this tech and try to put it out there to make, push the limits of what can be for a product, but you're really helping the authors and the creatives and even giving platforms to people that wouldn't have it otherwise.
Yeah, that's a pretty big topic. I think it could be like a trilogy, the issues with publishing. But I'm going to throw it off to some of our experienced authors and stuff to start that one off.
I mean, two words come to mind: censorship and what is it?
We always say gatekeeping. Yeah.
Gatekeeping. Yeah.
Yeah. Censorship and gatekeeping. Those are the two main flaws of the publishing industry today. Needs to be on a blockchain. Needs to be trustless. But Dylan can talk on about this.
I have a story for you guys here. Let me tell you what's wrong with the publishing industry. I'm an author. This book is peer reviewed. If anybody has any idea what that takes, it's kind of a lot. This is an academic work of philosophy that, basically I did instead of doing a PhD program. So this is my contribution to the canon of philosophical research. And then this is just a crappy book that I self-published a few years ago. And basically the idea behind this one was that I wanted to learn the publishing industry so I could better represent this one, which was the big one that I wanted to, make sure would be like a real success and everything. And so what I kind of learned across the board about publishing is that these types of books, self-published books in general, are the product of people who figure out how to manipulate the Amazon algorithm, and not so much the product of people who love what they write and write what they love. But with passion projects, a la this book, it's very, very difficult to ever get paid at all. So I have yet to receive one dime. I've sold maybe 150 copies of this or so. It's called Formal Dialectics. 4 years of research went into it. It was a big deal. And I did it because I had to, I couldn't help it. And I ended up with a bespoke publisher in the UK called Cambridge Scholars Publishing. And they really have done a great job at everything except actually moving copies of the book, and it's been kind of I don't know, kind of a tough uphill climb, right? And the reason that it's a tough uphill climb is because on this I get about 5% of what happens, right? So we sell $1,000 worth of copies. I think I get $50. This one, it's more like you get maybe 30% or something of what you charge for it on Amazon. But you're not taking the money and putting it in your pocket, because all these other people are doing that before you get a chance. And so there's this deep flaw in the publishing industry, which is, if you have a book that you love that you've written, you're forced into basically bad options, because you can't just afford to sit around and waste your entire life away waiting on lightning to strike and some big publishing house to come magically find you, because that doesn't happen. It's just too competitive of a market. So the thing is, so somebody has said in the chat here, third time's a charm, and really and truly, I would say, no time is the charm in the traditional publishing industry. You see, even major big time best-selling authors kind of struggling sometimes, and And at the end of the day, it's because the system is overly centralized and it doesn't have high enough throughput. So it's just, resulting in an underserved market. And blockchain tech makes it really easy to scale solutions that address markets like this. So basically here at the PageDAO, this whole thing is basically I feel so stupid even saying this, but this whole thing is basically a result of my failure to be like a traditionally published author on some weird way of looking at it. But
A lot
yeah,
of people that have the same story.
yeah.
To think about that, you spent 4 years like researching, putting together this phenomenal deep book. It looks beautiful. It's available, but nobody knows about it because you're not already famous. It's the same thing. I mean, not the same thing. Similar lines in like hip hop and what we do at Cypher. And again, thank you, Nightmare. We got to come on with Cypher a few months ago. It's like we need to open the gates. We don't need gatekeepers saying, no, you can't do this, or you need to say it more like that, limiting your creative freedom, right? And then on that, even if you self-publish 30%, like this is crazy. There's no financial freedom there to be a creative and be able to support a family or whatever it is that you need to do, even just support yourself. So with the blockchain, instead of selling 1,000 books and making $50, maybe you could sell 50 books and make $1,000 or so, like it's just so different. So we're trying to flip that on its head is a lot of the work. And these barriers aren't just something easy to overcome. And there's no technology that's defined that can solve this. So a lot of it has been problem solving and building. And now it's so exciting to have books being minted every week.
Well said.
Very cool. And yeah, the cost to start up, I have a friend as well that was looking into getting some things published, and the upfront cost that he had to put into it, being that he wasn't a known author, was substantial. I mean, he wasn't even sure if he could recoup that, right? And so, blockchain and some of those things not only removes the gatekeeping, but some of these other barriers to entry that, depending where you are in the world, maybe that's an impediment. Even if something seems palatable for me in this country, you could live in another part of the world where it's an astronomical amount, and that voice should not be silenced because they don't have the means.
Nightmare, yes, this is like exactly what we spend. My team is laughing because they know it's like something I rail about. Oh my god. We did a Twitter Spaces earlier this week with an author named Nirvan, who minted for the first time a collection of poetry. Nirvan is a model and artist and writer from Nigeria, and Nirvan brought all his peeps into the Twitter Spaces. He brought everybody he knew. He was like, "Yo, listen, come through, ask questions. These people are putting books on chain. It's easy. I did it. Like, you can see my poems." And he read a bunch of his poems, and I was like, having read Nirvan's work for months and months and months, we have so many stories in our group of people who from Venezuela, Argentina, Nigeria, people from Asia and all over are like minting their creative products and finding not just like the ability to get it on chain, but we do our best as a DAO to make sure that people are heard at the same level as everybody else. So we kind of like create, do what we can as a community to support other writers. And I think, I don't know, I was moved like by the magic of hearing these words and having it find an audience. Anybody can go collect that book. And people did. It was like popping in our sales feed on our Discord. We were like watching it. We were like, what is happening? Nirvan's poetry. It's crazy.
So dope to see just like wholehearted, like open-armed adoption to, like NFT poetry book. Like it's something that's not really been around. And yeah, it's really exciting to have this now accessible to everyone. We do collaborative projects together. And we really, it's about giving those creatives a voice and a platform. And another great thing about it, we're getting some NFTs selling, but also these NFTs are readable. without purchasing. So that's another aspect that, I think is really amazing. If anybody on the team wants to touch on that a little bit, the reader is super, super cool.
Yeah, we only have one gated token, and that's the Mask of Ganymede that we collaborated with Hash Masks on, and that's a product line that we're looking at getting into. But right now, Phil can actually probably tell you better than I can about the plans to basically scale the books that are free to view. Oh yeah. While we got the video up, like check this out. This is pretty cool.
You got to connect the wallet. We have one bug, which is kind of a bug. Or if you're not connected, it doesn't show the actual quantity available. So it says 1024 out of 1024. It's actually less than that. But
yeah, it's like,
well, I'll hide right now so no one sees any of the illicit purchases I'm making, and then I'll pop it back in.
Okay.
But before we do show this, I did want to make mention. You're talking about, the empowerment you guys give to creatives and to your community. We actually had what we call our Whale Community Spotlight, and we take people from within our community, role holders or not, anyone that participates in Whale, and say, hey, this is your platform. What are you working on? Even if it's a work in progress, what would you like to show? Because obviously we highlight a lot of established artists and projects. And we actually had in one of our community spotlights, Maria Verde, who shared her book Catharsis. And it was such a beautiful moment because you could tell the emotiveness when she was sharing how meaningful it was to her, and people in our community were really moved by it, right? And so it was a great moment, and you could tell the impact that your organization had, and she spoke very highly of you guys with regards to what you did to help enable her to do that.
Huge shout out to Maria Verde, who has enabled us to do so much better, and I mean, just incredible. This is what it's about. Maria Verde, publishing and illustrating. Yeah, just incredible.
Yeah, just wanted to definitely give her a shout because that was awesome when she came through. And you guys wanted to talk a little bit about this as well.
This is, I think, going to be the next iteration of what we see with README books and the Minter. So this is what you come in as an author or a publisher, you create your own collections, and the book pages might look very similar to this, where you go to a book page, you learn more about it, and you mint a copy. So they're all 721s. Right now, the README books collections are all ERC 1155s, where you get the full quantity in your wallet, and then you get to sell them. But the one thing with this, all of the secondary sales are going to the PageDAO treasury. So in the next product that we put out, it's going to be your collection. So you'll be in control of royalties and how all of that works. So it's really excited to see kind of us publishing both the README Books Minter collection for the community at large, and then also, we're testing and forging new ground here with the press. So the Mask of Ganymede is the very first NFT book that we have ever released using this technology. It's all brand new. Like never before has there been an NFT book that you could also buy the physical copy, which is incredible. There's an audio book all packed into it, and you have the NFT, the verified ownership. So there's just so much value being thrown into this one NFT project that we're so excited about.
To print that book, you would have to own the NFT as well, correct?
Exactly. So
that's a token gated printing, like on demand, real world as well, which is pretty damn cool. And there's an epic rap song that Chris Young Raps did about the Mask of Ganymede too. So it's just really fun bringing these different, like when have you, I don't know, had a hip hop song about a Greek myth that's for an NFT book before? I don't think it's been done.
Just all these collectibles being added on. One thing that this is Dylan's idea with the print on demand. Like once you buy the NFT, like he wants buyers to feel empowered to, print a few copies and throw it in a bookstore and start reselling or start selling the physical books. Like,
yeah, you can put them on consignment.
Yeah,
and you can use the NFT to regulate that distribution channel. It seems really natural. It seems everything that happens. It's like the first time that it's happened, and You know, a lot of what we do is just kind of go with the flow and figure out the best thing to do. I'd love to see some responses in the chat if anybody has strong feelings about, you know, potentially, you know, having printed books that are distributed to the NFT holders or distributed by the NFT holders.
I do like it that it's multimedia as well, right? So it's bundled all together. This is your collective source for all things, and it makes more sense. You know, I almost feel like when I think of audiobooks as a separate entity than the physical, and this kind of makes it, you know, kind of a collective umbrella, and I like that it puts that together conceptually. Is this a product of the NFT minter that you guys are working on, right? Is that correct, or is that something separate?
It's a separate product. This one is a proof of concept of what we're planning to build, but it has so much new technology that's just not tested. So we're gonna have to build in it's gonna take a few months to build in the contract that will enable you to create a collection like this. So
because I saw on the bottom I thought I saw on the bottom, yeah, here on the bottom, there's an opportunity for, I guess, authors, if they were interested in, you know, working with you guys to progress the technology. It says join as a writer, so they could send something in, and you could, you know, say, hey, it's a good fit or not. As you guys can continue to kind of, you know, suss out exactly what's going to work and enable more things, I'm sure.
I just want to shout out one feature while we're talking about this too, which is once you've actually purchased the NFT book, you get access to the audiobook, and there's a screen where you can read while you're listening to the audiobook on your headphones or whatever. You can kind of keep up with like both formats, like all in just the same place. I'm not sure that's ever really happened before. So
really cool. Yeah. And I love audiobooks. So it's such a benefit to me to be able to purchase an NFT, have the book to be able to read it with, you know, all the nice animations and stuff, and then have the audiobook that, you know, maybe that's what I listen to first, and it's when I'm in the car or whatever, and later I get to read it, or maybe I read part of it and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting so busy, I'm gonna have to audiobook this. Or it's just something that I really enjoy. I think it's great to have that come with the book so that you have the whole package. And so it's really exciting, and you know, there's so many features in this that are just, you know, like we've been saying, it's just hasn't really been done like this. So it's literally being, you know, produced and kind of troubleshot and created in this process while we have the not quite so intensive kind of standard NFT books that can be minted right now much easier.
Yeah. Robbie just said it's all a work in progress though. That's our
True. Whip Publishing, baby.
Yeah, Robbie needs to speak more. He's the man.
I want to hear, because we never got to talk about how people can just go, you know, page through it and read it. Robbie, you want to tell us about how that's possible?
Yeah, so it's so funny when we talk about the tech. It's one of the cool features. By the way, my wife's book is in here. It's the one all the way on the right called Syrup. Anyone who's like ever been inspired to do something because their wife was like, I really want to get my book out there. That's kind of like was the impetus here. Sometimes it takes a second to load. IPFS, gotta love IPFS. But so the interface you're seeing here is, you know, we're used to videos, images that are either animated or not, or GTLF 3D graphic files that you can manipulate. But here, the books are loaded up in their own kind of interactive viewer using HTML, all hosted on IPFS. And sometimes it's subject to the exigencies of IPFS, which is obviously distributed storage. So I can't control how fast they load, even though we have our own IPFS gateway.
It has good days and bad days.
Yeah, it does. It has good snappy times and not so snappy times.
Definitely.
Well, to be fair, your wife put together quite the book, 104 pages, including, I'm sure, some images and whatnot as well.
Yeah, it is.
Bible.
It is hefty. The Gutenberg Bible includes many pages of
all pictures,
all photograph scans of the original Gutenberg printing. But yeah, so because the entire, all the JavaScript that makes it happen, all the text that makes it happen, the display, the 3D animation of the thing are all stored on IPFS. It doesn't require an external host to be able to display it, or like if PageDAO goes away, if Wip Publishing goes away, all these items still exist forever on chain and on IPFS. And so, slow or not, it's still there, which is kind of a really cool thing. And that core piece of the technology was one of the things that we really wanted to explore as part of the experimental thing. We have some other experimental viewers. There's a poetry one with scrolling text and audio at the same time, and like a lyric video.
Yeah, let's find that one. It's like third aisle here, third row, right in the middle.
With the purple circle, yeah.
Yeah, peace of mind. This
if that loads at all, which would be nice.
Every time you do a live demo.
No, I swear.
I know,
swear.
but it always it usually. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Syrup came up.
Nice. But it's beautiful to be able to read these, just without having to go and do it somewhere else. Like you just go to OpenSea to the NFT and click on it, and you could read it full screen right there. I mean, you could read the whole book there if you wanted. Of course, it's great to support authors and pick them up. And we've got books on ETH and Matic, and did we have one on Wax too?
I feel like I honestly built this mostly for my wife. Honestly, like she writes all the time. She enters all the writing contests in the Web2 world, and I was like, "Babe, don't you understand? You could have an ebook that it doesn't depend on anybody else. You do it. You are the one, right?" So, minting this as token 1 on this collection was a big deal. I don't know, for me, and I think it just looks cool. One of the challenges people have, let's say I'm a writer and I want to show off my work, I need to host my stuff somewhere, and hosting has a cost. And will I always have that host? What happens if the host provider goes down? So you have to kind of be a webmaster to just have a web presence. And now you can just be a writer and mint to the chain and let the decentralized web do the work for you. I saw it loaded. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I hope you go to Bucket. Oh my god.
Is this the one you wanted to run through? Some of the audio? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop this out and bring it right back with my system audio so people can hear it as well.
Cool.
Awesome. This is super fun.
Y'all are in for a treat. This is awesome.
Oh yeah. What a good man to build that for his wifey.
All right, I'm ready.
I hear it echo off the subway walls. Boom, tick clack, tick clack, tick clack. The little black boys bopping their heads, eyes closed, and the taped up sticks whack it, smack it. What did they hold? Spackle? Maybe mud, cement? Where did they get it? And is this stomp or bringing the noise, bringing the funk where junk becomes our jigaboo, nostalgic existential confusion? The Japanese tourist moves in to snap a photo. Ooh, so authentic. Boom, clack, clack, clack. It's just a damn bucket, a place to pretend I'll wash my clothes by hand. But damn it, I'm a man, and the soap burns my hands. The lie burns my eyes, and the lies burn my ears. Who even knows what it's made of? This didn't come from no plant or no rock. It's polyethylene, petroleum-based Mother Earth blood, dead dinosaur goo. Boom, chicka, clack, clack, modern claptrap place to throw my garbage. Non-biodegradable, not like when you kick the bucket. Oh no, ain't no coming back. So like the little boys bopping their heads, eyes closed in Harlem on the 4 train, graduating to Times Square, Union Square, Washington Square, for all the squares doing backflips in front of monuments of bronze men who would never have believed that black lives could matter. It matters just a little more when they kick the bucket on camera. Not like grandma, who had hands made for soil and is now down under becoming it. She of the spunk, of the bring the fish here in the bucket. You afraid of worms, boy? She of the bucket list. Cross country, black woman in Alaska, Croatia, Albania, France. Who the hell did she think she was? Grandma. Dead now. And I gotta wait 5 more till I get easy pass to see her tombstone in New Jersey. Boom, 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 ticket-clack. Boom, 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 ticket-tack. One bucket has a hole facing me. Did you enjoy the show? Did you enjoy the clatter, the rhythm and pop and break and surprise fake? Put your money in the goddamn bucket, because the bronze men got their faces on it, because we got to circulate and create more wealth, make more plastic. Gotta have it. The little black boys, do your worn out dance, be little illegal wandering entrepreneurs, troubadours of boom, 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 and so far from goat skin and wood and anything real. Pour your souls out so we yuppies can feel your pain, alienation, oppression, sweat, hopelessness, depression, anxiety, heartbreak, fear, anger, love, anguish, humanity, commodity. There's a crack at the bottom of the bucket so you can always fit more. Everybody clap now, please. The bucket's coming around. Pass the bucket over. Sometimes they stack and get stuck. Pablo and Sanchez sweating their balls off for a buck. It sucks hauling paint or tar up ladders to the roof or on high bridge with a bucket of dinky roses held out to every car. Sometimes they fly off the handle or pinch the palm. Blood blister right next to your lifeline, and I can predict your future. Oh, sweet immigrant child of mine. You're gonna work hard, strive, chase the dream, and then die. If you're lucky, we're kicking that bucket again. If you're lucky, you can send a few bucks back home to your uncle sitting on buckets that double as furniture in the dirt or on cement in front of convenience stores in Harlem and East New York tenements. And the little black boys don't know where it came from or where it goes, but they know which one's bigger than the other. And when you tilt it with the instep of your kicks, it goes boom. And when you wrap it with the stick, it goes clack. And when you sweat your whole life, you get jack. Maybe boom, chicka boom, clack, clack. Maybe there's nothing left in the bucket, clack. Maybe it's full, clack. And there's no one else, clack, to dump it on. No one else to dump it on, clack. So we recycle our hate on ourselves.
Dope.
Yeah, incredible.
So good, man. So
It
good.
gets better every time I hear it, man.
And knowing that you have that breadth of media type that you, and the different things that could be created, and you guys are just scratching the surface of what you can do both with the tech and with the engagement with the creator community, is really exciting.
We are super stoked about it. We have so many poets in the big Web3 poetry space. We have so many writers that are like, hey, I don't want to just do it with me. I want to do it with these other people. And they're looking for co-creation tools and trustless collaboration tools. We've tried out every model in the world. We've spent basically a year digging into deep into community, maybe borrowing from the whale system. By the way, the use of Discord for Web3 community building, is up there among the first. And I remember being confused as hell, hopping in the whale server the first time. I was like, what does LP mean? What is a dolphin? How do I get a dolphin roll? It was so confusing. And now we're forcing our users to jump through similar hurdles. And also, they are also very confused. I noticed Nightmare's not saying anything. Nightmare doesn't want to talk about how confusing that is for a first-time user. It's all good. But since we're onboarding a lot of first-time people who are writers, but maybe non-crypto natives, we have to really think about pain points in the process. So we spend a lot of time telling people how to set up their MetaMask and how to what custodial versus non-custodial is and all that jazz. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I can't deny the confusion. The NFT space in general is a fire hose to drink out of, right? And then you add the complexity of Discord, and I hear people all the time on on Twitter Spaces and prior to that Clubhouse say I don't really like Discord because this is simple and I can get my information streamlined. But the power of Web3 is the interactivity, the interoperability of things, and the interconnection, and being able to leverage things like social tokens, which you can do on Discord. I mean, maybe there's a way on, maybe I could sell some Bowie bonds on Twitter. I don't know. Maybe there's another way, but really, using the tokens is why we use things like Discord. It allows us to do that integration. And that's what Web3 is. We don't want something static in one lane, right? So I'd love to kind of backtrack a little bit and level set, because I got so hyped up. Hold on, let me put on my hype mask. I got so hyped up that we dove right in. PageDAO, which is what you've evolved to become now, right, through the various iterations that you've had, you have a number of things that you do. One of the things is the NFT Book Minter, which we just highlighted some of the products from, right? Some of the amazing creative things that have been made. What else do you guys do as an organization? What else do you focus on? Are there other tools in the toolkit? Are there specific lanes that you're working on? Give us kind of a macro overview, because then I'd like to hone in on Paige.
That sounds like Dylan's arena.
Yeah,
well,
I just got unmuted. I'm down.
Unless Easy wants to pop in and say something real quick.
no, I was going to say, Dylan, that would be maybe great to talk about some of the collaborations we're doing with other communities and projects. And then, we can go into like Pass the Pen and some of the other event stuff we do.
Yeah. So basically now it's kind of my job to party. And by that, I mean, I go around and have fun with people. And so one of the things we've been doing since the very beginning with even like Wip Publishing, and even I think in the LibraNet days, is we got Easy to talk to his friends at Token Smart, who are also our friends at Token Smart, and basically get us a show. And so we went in there and we didn't really know what to do, but we had a bunch of writers from the OG NFT books that we did that were Alpha and Genesis tokens that we, basically it was a closed beta that wasn't very scalable. And so from there, basically what we've done is we've said, okay, we see how this works. And it turns out, believe it or not, just making a book into an NFT by itself doesn't actually increase the value that much. I think you could argue that it does to some extent, but at the end of the day, there needs to be scalable technology that people can come and use to actually build like really cool stuff. And we don't know what all this stuff is going to be, but we can talk to writers and we can figure out what they want to build, and we can do that. And so that's kind of been our approach here thus far. Is trying to talk to people like White Chocolate, who came over from the Mask DAO with the Hashmask project and brought us a project and said, hey, we're looking for writers, and the Mask of Ganymede came out of that. So that was brokered by the Hashmask community, which was like a collaborative effort. We're working still on the Rare Pizzas book. There's going to be some degen stuff going on there. It looks like we're going to be able to actually pull off the 10,000 different covers for that project. And
Whippy.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy. We're using the medium for Rare Pizzas to ramp up some of the content about the Rare Pizzas NFT project. That's just been, it's like really dense technical stuff. We're doing the DAO thing. We're mainly there to have fun, not necessarily to do just a ton of work. So it takes a little bit longer to get something like on that scale kind of put together. But yeah, I see you've got the original NFT books there. We've got a bunch. There's the Genesis ones, and then there's Genesis V2, which is most of those on Matic, or maybe more. There may be some that aren't on Matic that are here.
That's one of my favorite books right there.
Yeah. Ready. Oh man, it's so good.
It's such a good read.
The Ivory Palms.
Yeah.
Phenomenal read. Absolutely. Yep.
Super dope. So you have that, and obviously with books, you have to Whoa, level of inception there. With books, you have to engage differently, right, than you do in a lot of the art and the traditional space. And you guys have certainly done a lot of different things to that end. Talk about that with me a little bit on how you engage people that may not be looking for it or even know that it's there.
So one of the things that we do have the weekly show and Token Smart on Fridays. Actually, we were over there earlier today. And so we used to have a Whip Publishing show, and then we kind of spun up this idea. So we had 2 shows for a short while, and now we have 1 show where we kind of give little news updates on, you know, what's going on, and maybe bring on an author that is, you know, minted an NFT book over the last week or 2, and have a little reading out of that and stuff. And then we go usually into Pass the Pen, which is basically community collaborative story writing. So we sometimes as a team will bring an idea, just like maybe like the genre. Like we had a couple weeks ago we started one that is Satoshi Holmes, and I was like, oh well, we haven't done a mystery or anything, and I think Phil came up with the name Satoshi Holmes, and then we just start jamming and we get feedback. Everybody that is in the audience is 100% open to drop a character name, a couple of sentences, or a paragraph, or a scene, or part of the plot. And so we developed this idea for a story together. And then over the course of, I think the fastest one was, which is actually minted, was Zombieverse. And that was just like over a couple weeks, right before Halloween. And that one was one that we kind of got through really quick. And so normally we'll get, input from the community, and we'll put together some different acts for the story and develop the characters and kind of what's happening. And then maybe we could sometimes we move it over to the PageDAO Discord, and the people that were giving input and want to work on it can kind of refine that. And then we wind up minting it as an NFT book, and all those co-creators get a portion. So it's really fun. It's very different style of writing, and we're just always open for ideas and to work with the community. There's other ideas that we also have been talking to people about. Similar with kind of what the Hash Mask of Ganymede and this Pizza DAO book. A lot of people have their favorite PFP. For example, and maybe they spend time in that Discord. Maybe they have a little lore section where they're just having fun writing a little lore. So we'd love to promote people to bring us like an idea, be like, this dude, I love this PFP project. They're writing up some lore. Maybe we could collab, bring them in for a Pass the Pen joint project, or maybe they want to, come work with PageDAO in some way to develop a little more seriously some of that lore and content, and then put it out as NFT books as well. So there's a lot that we can do, just takes kind of the slow build with the tech is really getting there, and then broadening the community, communities that know about what we're doing and how much we'd love to collaborate.
Yeah, exactly, Easy. And on that note, we're definitely looking for authors all the time. Come join our Discord, come hang out. We have daily events, like little games you can play to earn page, just to like keep your skills fine-tuned. But yeah, no, we need more authors. We're going to be the only DAO for authors and writers that will come into these PFP projects and take over. Let's create lore, let's create comic books. This is really excited to see. And also a quick shout out to Maria Verde on the Zombieverse book. She wrote most of that and also designed. She actually did all the artwork for it, which is incredible. We wouldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, super. I mean, just powerhouse. Maria Verde is incredible. Yeah. And I love that you brought up the comic book, because that's actually what we were doing today. It's the first Pass the Pen comic that we started today. So it's really exciting, just many different formats to be able to experiment and work with. And actually the comic today is the main character is Whippy, who is the PageDAO mascot in his little book, and he's going to have all these metaverse adventure comics that we can like create together. So just super fun stuff.
Yeah, a little whippy.
Yeah, and there've been, we've certainly seen as far as PFP projects go, them kind of leverage their IPs into the comic book realm with some different people and have, a lot of traction. People are very intrigued by that. So even beyond PFPs, I can think of a lot of cool NFT projects that could warrant that, even some that have homes on our Discord here. Certainly Hackatow's Queens and Kings could have a lore that would be quite interesting and things of that nature. I think that could be pretty epic as far as a partnership goes. Talk to me about the page token.
Okay, sure. Yeah, what would you like to know about the page token? It was released last July. The idea was to use it to support the Minter, and or what became the Minter, which was the NFT Book Bazaar. And so basically, the prize hasn't been like the rosiest of things, but it's essentially a social token that people earn for contributing to PageDAO. So either you are a writer and you're working on your skills, hopefully having some fun with it, enjoying yourself in the Discord, you can actually earn page token incentives that way. You get 1 page token for a 6-word short story, 2 page tokens for a 25-word short story. And basically our argument is that if you can play a video game to earn cryptocurrency, you should be able to do that with like things that actually help you, like learning writing skills and
right to earn, baby.
Yeah.
Now listen, I did tell my mother that the video games helped me in some way. So if my mom's listening, Mom, that wasn't all for naught. I know you wish I was a writer. Sorry.
No, but
also a governance token as well. We have a snapshot. Anyone come in, make proposals. Right now, we're whales. We're the page whales.
Right.
We modeled. Oh, sorry.
We intend to take it to Cosmos eventually. Our goal is basically this year at some point to have done all the R&D that goes into building a Cosmos SDK application-specific blockchain. We do intend to release that blockchain and mint some more page token and have like an inflationary tokenomic structure that would then run the page network, which we plan to build. So there are big plans right now. We're focused on minting. We're focused on the community. We're focused on basically the reason that we're doing all this stuff, and we're kind of putting off the nerdy down the line stuff for just a little bit while we still kind of can. But we're going to have to nerd it out pretty hard before too long. So
there's definitely some really interesting things, especially when we get over to Cosmos, that we'll be able to do, possibly pooling books or pooling tokens and be able to have, access to certain collections of books through, locking up some page or something. We approached bringing page to the community in a different way than most maybe token launches, although very similar, maybe more similar to Whale, because basically what we did was we gave the tokens away. So we didn't just be like, here, come grab some tokens, but we had 10 kind of brother sister communities that we engaged with, that we thought might be interested in working with us and supporting this type of idea. And so after some conversations with those different communities, we wound up airdropping basically like 50,000 tokens to a bunch of different DAOs, no strings attached. For them to be able to then use those to help maybe promote writing, maybe some of those use it for like, oh, you could get, you write a Medium post about our project and you get tipped some page or something, different kind of rewards like that. And then some of those people went and added liquidity, which showed great support. That was amazing. Actually, the price was up there for a bit. One of those partners, at least, just totally shanked us and sold all of it at the top, like right away. So we're it's a great place to get in because it's very affordable now. It's at its lowest price, and probably we assume it'll probably pick back up from here because we did kind of get rugged a little by one of those drops. But overall, it's just a very positive tool, I think, to help promote writing, and there are going to be other utilities for it, coming, such as being able to, stake and farm and pool. And we do have, you can add liquidity, and over on Tostis, you can, put some page in and be able to farm that. You can put page ETH in. And I don't know exactly what the APY is now, but it was pretty hefty.
It's going up again because Wip Publishing has pulled out its liquidity position and is angling to put that liquidity on Matic against the Matic token. So
Nice.
basically, we're growing the base of the token, and the whole aim there is, of course, to diminish the fees that the users have to pay, because we're a community of writers. We can't be spending $80 every transaction.
Right.
It's just not realistic.
Well, we're, like you said, Easy, we were here early at the forefront of social tokens. So we love that you guys are leveraging it and really wanted to talk about it. And we understand that the real value of it is what you're going to drive with the community, right? And so anyone that's involved now, you're accumulating something. It's almost like you're getting equity in something as it's growing. And obviously you guys have the cogs here in place to really get this machine going and build into something impressive. I think some of the comments in the community with regards to other projects that could use your help, right? You have a model, you have something that's working that could be certainly helpful. So awesome. I know that there's some people that are watching that would like to participate. The best way for them to do that, it sounds like, is look for your activities that you have on places like on TokenSmart, and likewise join your Discord, where there's activities where people can take part in various things with writing and creativity, even if they just want to support. Likewise, they can find a way to do that there as well and be part of the build of something extraordinary that you guys are doing, not just for the tech, but for the creatives, and really having the perspective of enabling people in mind, not just, how can we leverage this technology for publishing?
Absolutely. We would love to have people come and join the Discord. Obviously, we do weekly Twitter spaces. And then, we're just kind of all over. We do, sometimes we're hopping in and doing parties with people. We got to do some fun stuff in Miami with Rare Pizzas and PageDAO. And so, yeah, we're definitely, we're out here, we're around, we're working hard. So we are a little bit head down, still focusing on building. But, we've got tech that's working for minting books right now, and it's only going to improve. So yeah, you're kind of getting in at ground floor if you come and join now and get involved, and we'll also just have a lot of creative fun.
Two random thoughts. Number one, kind of convenient that you were WIP Publishing and you went over to TokenSmart and did some activities with them. The name was just a great synergy there for sure. And number two, I'm glad we had this conversation about the PageDAO and what the heck that's about, because I ended up in parties in there somehow. I don't know if I was drinking at my desk during it, but I remember being in the PageDAO, the music's going crazy at some location. I'm like, what am I doing here? Now I know.
Dude, if you get to a real world PageDAO party, a Regaverse one, mountains of pizza, bro. Mountains. They hook it up.
As long as they're pineapple, I'm there. Just let me know.
Oh, they usually got all sorts of different. There might be people in that DAO that would, come after you for pineapple pizza. That's a very strange.
Listen,
people
easy.
Get
You're
serious
walking.
about that.
Listen, you're walking a line here, my friend. Let's keep this cordial.
I can't say whether I'm. No, I do. I had a really good. It was. I'm down in Costa now because the family's down here. I get to spend some time down here before I go to eat Denver. Pretty soon, but yeah, I had a pretty good. It was bacon, pineapple, and something else on it. Maybe it was basically like a bacon pineapple, and it was actually quite tasty.
Throw some jalapeno on there, and we're good. See, I told you guys before we started that if we derail into food for the
y'all are straight up bugging. I swear. I literally wrote a piece about New York pizza that's going to be in the PageDAO book. I was like, listen, pizza is an honored tradition that originated in New York City, represent New York City. And all this other artisanal crap is like pure travesty, like straight up. Like, I don't know, bacon, jalapeno, come on.
If I'm in New York City, I'm going margarita, cheese, or pepperoni. Straight up. That's all.
There you go. There you go.
Listen. You just said margarita, so you have to include alcohol to drink it without the pineapple? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'll tell you what. I met the most phenomenal pizza chef. He actually won, he was in the top 100 in Vegas worldwide top pizza chefs. And so Rare Pizzas had brought him. He was at the Zoratopia party, and I love what I usually order is margarita, which if you're not super up on your pizzas, that is mozzarella cheese, fresh mozzarella, tomato, and then fresh basil. Very tasty. But I also sometimes I'll throw pepperoni on top of that, even if they give me stink eye. And so I was mentioning that while I was in line for this pizza at the Zoratopia party. And the chef, like whips around like real fast after I mentioned like I like talking about margaritas with pepperoni. He's all, dude, I invented the margaroni. And I'm like, what? And he even had the margaroni name for it already. So he wasn't like pulling my leg, right? And he's like, dude, I'm gonna hook you up. Just wait a few minutes. And he hooked me up the tightest margaroni. It was so good. I tweeted about it like right there. I was like, dude, I just met pizza dude, rare margaroni all over it. It was so dope.
That was big, but in the spirit of keeping things civil, we won't continue at politics, religion, and pineapple pizza. We'll leave out of this discussion right here. I did want to make sure I just cover all the ways that people can participate. So we talked about the Discord, the page token, the events that you're having across various communities. Is this NFT book minter open to people within your DAO, or how is this working exactly?
Yeah, it's currently open to people who hold the PageDAO membership card. We airdropped a bunch to active members on our Discord, and the rest sold out. So the only way to get them right now is on the secondary market. Pretty soon, we're working on plans to open it up so anybody can grab a minting card. And we're working with the DAO to figure out how to price it so it's accessible to mint to most people. Phil is our product guy. He's very good at all that. Yeah, so you grab yourself a copy of the PageDAO membership card. It's really cool. It's 3D. It does this whoosh, whoosh, whoosh thing. Everybody likes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you get access to mint unlimited books on our collection with your PageDAO member card. If I see a book that has a sucky cover, I will offer to matchmake you with a cover designer or help you make a better one ourselves. Like, I don't want sucky covers on the goddamn collection.
Hey,
you gotta have some whoosh, and it can't suck.
Yeah, some curation definitely is beneficial. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you got a couple minutes, I do have a few more questions from the community while I get this together. Fabio, I know we've been back and forth rapid fire here. I don't know if you had any questions while I was blabbering.
Is my mic working? Okay, yes. I had issues earlier. Yeah, I guess I had two things I wanted to mention. This really does seem like it's a natural progression of books and just things that you can do with it. I recently opened an Audible account about a month and a half ago, and I was, I've really dived into reading and just how much you can learn from literature. However, I was kind of upset that I couldn't send my books to my friends to have them read or listen to it themselves. So, props to you for, using this technology to be able to just expand the uses for books and how you can interact with them. The second thing I was going to say, and this is kind of like a random hypothetical in the future, I don't expect it this year. Would you ever release like a iOS or Android app for users in order to, use the stuff properly?
I think if it was necessary, we would. Right now, all our stuff already works there, so I don't know that we would necessarily need to put an iOS app out because it just works in the browser. So it's
Right.
It's on the resources. We need a dev who can do that for us. But absolutely, I could definitely see a mobile app coming together for this.
It could be really cool.
The book is, you bought the book, it could be upgradable. You could also maybe talk with other book owners or something and have you'd have your library, people could check it. I mean, we're going to be building this kind of stuff anyways, but it might be something that that would maybe benefit from being in like app stores, So that's a great question because I don't think we've had that one come up. Thank you. Give us something to think about.
Yeah, no problem. I was just thinking, maybe that was the next move, but I understand you are all very busy with your current goals and stuff. But yeah, Nightmare, take it away.
Yeah, no, and who knows what the successful implementation of NFTs visually in your mobile wallet will be. That's still being fleshed out as well, right? It could very well be that it works perfectly you know, and you guys would just think of different ways to add on top of it at that point. A couple of questions I was DM'd, if you guys don't mind. I'll ignore the pizza one. What do you guys envision the future ecosystem looking like in literacy?
Well, if I get to go first on this, I'm sure everybody's gonna wanna hit this one, but I think that the assets will be more available. It will be easier to break in as an independent creator. The big publishing houses won't have as much power. They'll mainly be doing curation type work, where they go out and read books and try to find ones that they think that their audience will actually like. So that's kind of like I guess if I was going to sum it up in one thing, I would say that I anticipate higher quality work getting further, without necessarily needing to be as like socially, what's the word? Like already pre-popular, I guess. But because I think that people are going to realize that they can make money by finding good stuff and then recommending it to a big audience. And I think that's just going to completely invert the Facebook/Amazon Kindle kind of model that we have today.
Indy has such a great answer for that question also on the tech side. You're on mute.
Unmute, Indy.
I'm like copy pasting links and just doing all kinds of crazy things. What are we doing? We're building a book ecosystem? No, I mean
Future of books that you see, right?
I mean, we don't know what digital interactive creative books are yet. So like it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be. Every day in our DAO, somebody approaches us and says, hey, what if my book did this? And it's very clear that the lines are going to get blurry between what is a book, what is a game, what is an interactive experience, what is, and the main things about the ecosystem as I see it right now is I've always said, coming from the hood, living in the Web3 space, the only commodity we have is trust, really. When I buy Whale, I'm investing trust. I'm purchasing this trust. And like making tools that are easy for people to collaborate and get secondary royalties and licensed derivative products. So solving kind of some of the DRM questions, digital rights management things that all the big industry heads are thinking about, but putting that power in the people's hands versus some large, big, multi-million. We are poor. We are broke. We are hustlers. We are like on the grind, get it done. Like everybody, Joe blows like you and like everybody in this whale server right now, except for the couple whales who need to go buy my book. But also, because of that mindset, that ethos, that ground up thing, I think we're still very close to that core Web3 paradigm of decentralization first, build the rails that the technology moves on, open it up as quickly as possible, and rapidly iterate. And so I think that being the heart of this ecosystem is, it's going to lead to a lot of really cool stuff.
So check this out, like totally different than what we were just talking about, but all that, yes, 100%. Textbooks, that's a biatch. Like, so what if your textbook was an NFT? You do not have to buy that NFT for $450 and return it for 15% when you kept it in perfect condition because you knew they were going to tag you for all that.
Immutable.
And you just use it for one year or a semester even. So like you get the NFT book, you use it for the semester, you put it back in the pool or you sell it to another student or like, so these things are gonna be happening. It's just who's gonna do it. We're doing this stuff.
I have one thing to add on that, and I just found out about this. Do you know most people are just buying their textbooks on Kindle now?
Ooh, I didn't know that, but that's crazy.
I know. My fiance just got all her books on Kindle, and I'm like, what? They can do that? This is hilarious.
So yeah, it's coming. The digital space has been around for a while, but it's sure changing.
this is weird just to piggyback on that, but one of the things I keep talking to Dylan about is annotation and opening that up to Web3 as well. So I highlight a passage. I want to be able to access that on all devices and forever. Why not? These are my notes in the margins that I would put in a physical book, and when I put it back on the shelf, I get to look at my notes, or maybe I get somebody else's notes. That's really kind of cool. I've studied a lot of other people's notes in the margins of various books.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
And-
take out your edition, so you have all the highlights.
It's like basically those notes, those margins, those conversations that are happening between those minds. Like, yeah, it's such a big deal. So huge.
Yeah. So
Again, bringing back community throughout books even stronger. Like,
Yeah, man, I'm getting excited. My wheels are turning in my head. I think if my wife was hearing it, she'd be telling me to go hit the secondary quick for some of her work as well. I know we're running long, so if I could rapid fire you guys a few more questions that we got and comments, just throw them out there. Two people actually, someone DM'd me, someone made a comment about staking collateral. Something to do with that, with between your token and textbook, could be an opportunity. I think that's a cool idea. A lot of different ways to chop it up. You guys have probably already thought about it a little bit.
Robbie, take it away.
Staking, yeah. So our big new idea is that our factory creation process is going to be a lot like Uniswap L3 V3 tokens. So when you mint your factory, you are simultaneously creating an LP position between LP and page. Down the line, this is going to allow really, really cool DeFi plus tokenomics things to happen. So where books that are minted from your factory may have feed-ins back into your position, and we're basically going to meld the tokenomics with the longevity of the DAO and the longevity of each publishing house / factory owner. So that's like really, really cool down the block. We're also going to include like things like book staking, right? So you can stake a book and maybe that makes it readable by other pool. We're going to include lending and borrowing of books and all kinds of like really, really stretch the boundaries of what these digital assets can do.
We're going to change what the words mean. Robbie, it's fair to say that at some point a user's book might accrue additional pages as time goes by, right?
Yeah, I would hold on to these README books and the OG Genesis books because a lot of that is going to be retro. So
Alpha leak right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because one of the other questions that we were asked is, with what you're deving and the smart contract, etc., can we build a living book where the author then down the line can continue to evolve it and add to it?
I'm going to answer that one again, but yes.
Nice.
So our new minting system is basically going to be composed of a factory, and the factory lets you make as many collections as you want, and each collection has, when you mint a book, it's going to have a set of features. So one of the features is to make like the kind of book that you saw with the scrolling text. Another one is to make the flippable book. Another one might be more interactive game-like, side scroller book even. And so we'll create all these tools. Nightmare's face is doing cool things. But one of the features is the Web3 feature of, oh my God, what were we just talking about? I just lost my goddamn
the upgradability kind of.
Thank you. Upgradability. So what we scoped out for this first feature set is you can only add to a book. So the feature lets you add. So let's say you release chapter 1. You can't remove chapter 0 or the introduction, but you can add chapter 2 and add chapter 3. And so a buyer gets some certainty that they're not going to get rugged on a book as the author pulls it away. So you also have to really think about what you're putting down with each piece. But I think for serials that want to add to one token, but you can also add to a collection. We've seen a lot of people publish serially, essays, for example. So the power is in the user's hands, how they decide to engage with their audience.
I'm excited for multi-author choose your own adventures, and I've got an idea that just kind of popped up. What about a whale PageDAO NFT magazine quarterly or something, you know, maybe something like that could be real cool.
Hey guys, we have to talk after this because you're getting me excited about the possibilities, because we're working on some interesting new things with Web3 integrations, and I think that we could definitely do something synergistic that would be really cool. I'll get you guys with one more, and then I'll let you get out of here. I know you guys have dinners to make and everything else. Someone asked, do you have any analytics on completion rates or opening rates on books that have released? And I'll tie that with another comment. Have you guys found any type of content to be more successful and more of a pull, or is it really open and people are receptive to whatever you're putting out there?
It's very early. We just released the Minter on Christmas Day. We don't have any analytics, unfortunately. But I don't know offhand. Do y'all have any specific genres?
That's what I was.
Really obvious.
I know that, you know, we're getting. If you are over in the PageDAO, we do have a channel that lets you know when new mints come in and when sales. And I mean, that thing is getting pings. Like, it is definitely seeing action. But we are still, like, this is still pretty early days as far as being open to the, you know, anybody with the NFT, the DAO membership, the PageDAO membership, being able to just come and mint. So, you know, we're still early days. We've been, you know, iterating and building and kind of, you know, problem solving and building the community as well, you know, kind of organically, slowly for a while. But yeah, it's now we're getting to that point where, you know, pretty soon we will be able to look at, you know, what is seeing better sales. And then our community, like maybe poetry gets super popular and we get a bunch of poets coming in minting. Maybe graphic novels are going to blow up, or like comics. And so it's very early, but it's going to be really interesting to see, you know, if there is something that really takes off first, or if it's more of a across the board, you know, we all have our different kind of interests.
Yeah, I think that was an aspiring author wanted to know what they should lean into. Let me tell you, it's bearded purple men with monocles eating pineapple pizza. That's what's really driving the traffic nowadays in NFTs. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. I could keep you all night. I know there's additional questions popping into the stream chat, so if you guys want to hang and take a look at that, I'll leave it open for a few more minutes. But looking forward to hopping over to your community and seeing what you guys are doing and how we can contribute and work together here at Whale.
Hey, you're welcome anytime, man. Thank you so much for having us. This has been lovely.
Awesome show, man.
Awesome. So we'll reiterate in the chat. We'll have all the links, so people that want to, they'll have the link to your Discord as well as your various web pages and communities. Gentlemen, best of luck moving forward. I think you're onto something great. Have a good one.
Thanks so much. Whale fam strong.